Good day, everybody, and welcome to JC Transformation Strategies. Welcome to another Sunday Bible reading study session, an informative session where we discuss literally about everything. Firstly, I just want to say we thank God for this week that has passed. We thank God for His strength and His grace. And anybody who has celebrated their birthdays, anniversary, any special occasions, we thank God for your life and celebration of your life. Because remember, every single day we got to be grateful that we are here and that we are alive. Because there's so many people who does not have the strength to be here and who has passed on. And we just need to be grateful for every single hour, every single second. So today's topic for the day is that all about how we can stand out from dysfunctional family. So today's topic is standing out from a dysfunctional family, and we're going to look into it very carefully as well. You can even break up the topic into standing out from a dysfunctional group, which also in terms mean at work. Okay, but today we're just going to look a bit more into detail about dysfunctional family. Okay, so today's Bible scripture, because remember we always do everything based on the Bible. So we're reading from Psalms 133 verses 1, in praise of living in peace. How wonderful it is, how pleasant for God's people to live together in harmony. It's like the precious anointing oil running down from Aaron's head and beard down to the collar of his robes. Okay, so remember it's from the head, Aaron's head, to his beard and then down to the collar of his robes. It's like the dew on Mount Hermon falling on the hills of Zion. That's where the Lord has promised his blessings, life that never ends. But let's look at verse 1 again. It says how wonderful it is for and how pleasant for God's people to live together in harmony. We thank God for his word. Now, when you look at it, when God's people live together in harmony, how beautiful it is. Imagine now if you're having a set of family or a set of friends or even a set of co-workers living together in harmony. That means operating cohesively, not operating based on conflicts, but operating based on harmony and unity. Now, that basically means an easy flow of work. You feel motivated, you don't feel stressed, and you feel belonged, okay, a sense of belonging. And that's how it should be, okay? But sadly, we all come from different dysfunctional families, okay? And that actually kind of affects how we are brought up. So you can come out of a dysfunctional family, but you can stand out to be different. So I'm going to repeat that again. You can come out of a dysfunctional family, but you can stand out to be different. Right. So I want you to look at this. You are born into this world. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at it very logically. So you need to put that thinking cap on. You are born into this world, but you're a miracle. Okay, you are a living proof, and the evidence is that you're alive. So basically, in your mother's womb, you were swimming, you won that race. Okay, so that's how it started off. And then from there, you were born, because that's another miracle. Because how many women has complications during their pregnancy? So for you to be born is a miracle, okay? Because there's a lot of stillborn babies who are born, but then they have like complications. So they have like either a lump affected or the eyes or the brain, okay? So that's another miracle. Then you also need to look at if you don't have any physical disabilities, so you don't have something that is amiss in your body and everything is fine, it's a miracle. Because there's so many people, have you actually researched or checked or even looked on social media, even look face to face, there's so many babies that are physical disabled. They have some sort of physical, even they are joined together, like two babies, two siblings are joined together, or they have like defects like eyesight, which is blind, cannot hear, cannot talk, cannot walk. I think the cerebral palsy as well, if I'm not saying I'm saying it right, but those are all the muscle issues where children are literally disabled. And some children don't live past the age of 18. And that's why you need to be appreciative, because you need to look at how far you came. You are living proof of being alive, okay? So we look at it holistically, okay? And we focus on that and we look at, this is how I was born. So that ticks off the box that you're a miracle. Right, now let's look at the next box. Picture this: you were formed in your mother's womb. When you were formed, after that you were born. So you were born, you were fed, you were nurtured, you were taken care of. You started walking. There has to be somebody that guided you to walk, guided you to talk, played with you, made the moments just to see your smiles. Now that person that nurtured you could be your mother. If it's not your mother, it's your granny. If it's not your granny, it's your auntie. If it's not your aunties, it could be a foster home. It could be even a stranger, okay, that took care of you. Like adoption parents and, like those sort of things. There's different types of guardians that take care of you. So we were all born, we were all taken care of by someone, because not everybody had their mothers with them. Some people didn't have their mothers. Some mothers died during pregnancy. Some mothers died after pregnancy. And there's different things that happen, okay? Or even sometimes, the depression that hits you after pregnancy is quite bad, okay? It's some post-depression thingy. I can't get the full name now. But that basically means if you had an existing depression during your time of living, and you fell pregnant and you never sorted out, you didn't go for counseling, never go for therapy, and then that affected you during pregnancy. If it didn't affect you during pregnancy, it affected you after pregnancy. And that actually affects you, and you don't want to even see your child, okay? So unfortunately, these things happen, and then sometimes you just write your child off. You feel you're doing the right thing, but you're not. So yeah, maybe you've been through that. Maybe your mother was like that, okay? But look at how far you came. You've grown. You developed, okay? So that's a miracle. Sometimes maybe it's just your mom alone, or your dad passed away at a young age. So your mother was basically the mom and dad figure. It happens, okay? So there's a lot of things. So that's what I'm trying to say now. Then we move on to family. So your family basically is your mom, your dad. We all know that. And then after that, you get your siblings. Okay, it's like a tree. Okay. And then you get like your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, then your granny and grandfather and all that, right? So we have the whole tree. But have you noticed that in your family tree, that even when we was younger, we all we drew a family tree when we was younger, and we had to explain like who is who and where the roots are coming from. But unfortunately, the family tree never really survived as a family in this world. So what happened is that you stood out and you became different, okay? You just don't vibe with everybody. You don't vibe with all the aunties, all the cousins, and all the grannies. Even your own granny too, you won't even vibe. It's normal, okay? In fact, on my side, like, I haven't seen, like, my dad's side granny. Sorry, my dad's mom, which is my granny from his side. So I haven't seen them, okay? But I did see his father, okay? And on my mom's side, I did see both sides. But sadly, they passed away so quick and sudden, And that's how it is. Like, you won't really, like, have that bond, like how other people have the bond with the grandparents. But other people have the bond because you're really privileged. So if you have your grandparents and they love you to bits, you're really privileged. So what happens is that you get people that actually love you in the family whole, and then you get people that just don't vibe with you. And there's nothing wrong with you. Remember, I always tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that their mentality is completely different. And that is why you feel like out of place, or you feel like you're the black sheep, but you're not, okay? So the dysfunctional family is basically the ones that won't understand you, okay? They never understood you. Like, you were born, they just never like support you, they never care for you, they never include you, okay? And there's so many factors as well, but one I can say is because they see a potential in you and they're scared about it because you outshine everyone, okay? So that's what happens. But how does a dysfunctional family look like? Because we know we have families, okay? We've always had families. So we know that we've got families, but how do we like identify that this is a dysfunctional family? So the symptoms of dysfunctional family is poor communication. They basically don't communicate with you, they don't include you. They have their own favoritism. They basically think that what they're doing is out of pride and ego, and that's how it goes. Then you get lack of trust. So they don't trust you, they don't like, basically it's like communicating. Okay, so trust and communication is together. So they don't trust you, so they won't really talk to you about private matters or like things that where they discuss with other people. Then there's always a conflict. Okay, basically when I talk about conflict, I always say it's artificial harmony. So basically what it means is that they create conflicts because they're the master of conflicts. Okay, so they are the ones that start the conflicts. They start shifting the blame on you. They start blaming you for things, or they say like, you know what, we don't really communicate so well. It's because you don't have time for us, or you don't call us, or you don't SMS us, or WhatsApp us. And then automatically you start to think that, you know what, I think I'm at fault. And once you do that, okay, that actually affects your brain. And that's why I don't want you to do that. Because you must never think that you are the one at blame. No, don't ever, somebody that's shifting the blame on you and you accept that blame. It's like, So I want you to stop doing that. You must never accept the blame of just anything. You got to reevaluate the situation, look at the situation before you accept any blame. And then avoidance and accountability is the main one. People don't like to accept accountability for their wrong actions. And you know that you are the starter of the problem, but they'll never accept it. They'll never even apologize. As soon as somebody does not apologize and there has been a conflict issue that has arisen, then that's basically dysfunctional family. It's dysfunctional co-workers, dysfunctional groups. It's because you are not accepting when it's your fault, taking responsibility. Taking responsibility is one of the key factors, including in leaderships. So you cannot be a leader in your group or at work or even in your family household if you don't accept accountability. Okay, now how do we overcome a dysfunctional family? Okay, so let's say now we have already been brought up with this family for many years, from childhood now and adulthood. We have noticed this family is just not vibing with us. It's not correlating with my spirit. What do I do? Okay, the first thing is to identify the root cause. So you know that this family is one that there is an issue. You guys just don't vibe. The energies don't clash together. When they come over, you just feel like they're talking in pride. They're talking in all these things that just don't vibe with you, because you'll feel it in your spirit when somebody does not click with you. Okay, because I certainly do. So you identify the root cause. I want you to look at why do they act that and when do they act that. So when you talk about how your achievements are, so how good you being at work, or how good you're doing things, or you just came up with a hobby now and you're doing excellent, and then you see like the eyes, the non-verbal signals, the hand gestures, the eyes. Remember, as I told you, to roll the eyes, to do whatever. You will notice that by how the people act towards you, and then you know this is the one that I need to watch. Okay, so you identify your root cause and you build your trust within you. You need to trust yourself. You need to love yourself. Okay, you need to strengthen your commitment, which is to you. Okay, then you need to accept what's going on. You need to accept that, you know what, you cannot take control of everything. So you're going to get people that's just not going to vibe with you. You're going to get family that just don't like you. They just don't care for you. Yes, they did care for my parents, but they don't care for me. And you need to accept it. You be like, you know what, I accept who you are, okay, but I'm not going to be like you. All right, so I'm just going to put you on one side and I'm going to draw my permanent boundary line. That's how it should be. Set your boundaries as well. So accept what it is. Don't take control of everything, because you cannot take control, and just move on. Okay. Now remember, unhealthy dynamics is being passed on from generation to generation. It's a generational thing. This is happening because it's generational. And unfortunately, you only figure it out is once the stress and the trauma that has been engraved on you for so many years, and now you're trying to break out that cage, and you'll notice that, you know what, today I am going to put the generational curse to end. I'm going to be different. I'm not going to be shifting blames, because I've noticed in the families they like to shift the blames to so and so, but they don't look inside. And unfortunately, they carry it for over 60 to 70, 80 years, but they don't look within you and think that, you know what, you were the one that's supposed to set the example. And now look at how the family ended up in turmoil. It's because you never said that. So that is why, guys, you need to just focus on you now. Especially if you're a youth, you need to move on. You must not carry the baggages of responsibilities of other families as well. Yes, we do have families, we do have siblings, we do have everyone. But as I said to you, you need to focus on yourself and take care of your health. Because if you're going to take care of everybody, then you're going to lose yourself in the process. Yes, you can show love, but you cannot overdo it. So if you've been in a dysfunctional family and it's been a hurtful time, I pray that the Lord will give you the strength to move on. And I know it's not easy, okay? Because not everybody will vibe with you. And not everybody is going to click with you. And most of the time, it's actually the strangers and people that is out of your race to actually click with you. I'm talking from experience, okay? Because I don't really vibe with everybody. I don't really click with everybody. Some people just, they don't even like bother about me, and I don't even bother about them either. It's because I use the let them theory, because they're not going to control me. I need to focus on me now. Once I came out of such a traumatic experience, I realized that, you know what, the only person I am left with is myself, and I want to take care of myself. So we need to come into that mindset of that, okay? Don't come into a mindset that you must carry everybody's burden and I must contact everybody, I must see to everyone, I must love everyone. Of course, you need to love people, but you need to also set boundaries as well, because you don't want people to take advantage of you. If you know that your family is dysfunctional and you know that you guys had issues and whatever, I think also you should set the boundary line that they don't come that near to your heart like as it were before, because it's just to prevent your heart from being hurted. And that's a very important point, okay? So it's just to guard your heart and to guard what you say as well. Right, so I really pray that if you have came into that and you are standing alone in this journey, may God help you, may God be with you and guide you, and may you focus on yourself more than focusing on anyone. And remember, the family that comes out of you is more important than the family that you came from, okay? The family that comes out of you is much more important than the family that came the way you came from, because you create your own family, you create your own destiny. So you cannot be stuck in the past, stuck into where you came from. Break the generational curses. Make sure daily you say that I break the generational curse. I break the generational curse of no love, no care, no support, fear, punishment, and judging, ego, pride, no empathy. I break that, because that's one of the main points that creates a dysfunctional family, especially the pride and the ego, because it made everybody to do their own things and also to have pride and to speak in pride, and to be breaking that. So remember, guys, start and continue in prayer for this whole week, and may you have a blessed week. Stay tuned to JC.